Hey, before I get going, I'm just gonna go sit right down on the couch and just be as comfortable as I can.
Yeah, get comfortable, brother. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. Today we are with one of my best friends online, and he's very quickly becoming a good brother to me. Rocket Blast Gaming, welcome to the show.
Yippee yahoo! Welcome. I am so excited to be on the HOJO show again.
Yeah, this is our we have to tell the listeners. This is our second time around. The first time I of course, in my ignorance, I didn't say everything correctly, but this time it's going to be just fine. And so thank you for coming back on and redoing the interview for me. I truly appreciate that.
Hey, no problem. I just love coming on the HOJO show anytime, day or night, and I love my time with you, brother. It makes a lot of. It's just awesome. I'm just very happy.
I want to go back to Rocket's childhood. I want to go all the way back and tell me a little bit about your childhood, just a little bit about growing up, if you can.
Yes, I can do that. So I started off in the little town of Rochester. It is growing definitely way bigger now, but back 30 years ago, 40 years ago, oh my gosh. I grew up in a little town, like I said, Rochester, and it was a fun town. I had a bike. I went for bike rides. I got my bike stolen. It was great times. I mean, I got to go into a little bit of a story on that.
Tell me about that.
I went down and I got my bike taken away because I was bad. I was a bad boy.
Okay.
And I went down to my best friend's house and borrowed his bike, and then proceeded to go out into the street and got ran over by a car.
Oh my goodness.
There was a left tire mark on my buttocks, and it didn't run me over, but the tire was right on, and it broke my leg. Then my mom had to actually buy another bike for a great friend, Jason Rochon.
No.
I can't believe I remember his last name still. He was just a great guy.
Well, anytime you have a traumatic incident, you're going to remember things, especially.
She took my bike away. Well, I couldn't ride it, first of all. It ruined my summer. Just right at the beginning, right after I got off from school, done for the season.
Oh, wow.
And she took it away for a full year after that.
I could see why.
Gave it back. It was terrible. It was terrible. So she gave it back to me. It almost seemed like it was an eternity. So I got it back finally. And in the meanwhile, I was just doing nothing. I mean, I hadn't really been exposed to video games at that point. Oh. And the first night that I got it back, I rode it like crazy, like a kid would.
Right, naturally.
And I walked inside, and I left my bike out front, and my mom looked at me and said, "Did you put your bike in the backyard?" And I said, "Yeah, definitely I did." And the next morning, this brand new red, shiny bike was gone, stolen.
No.
And I never forgot that. It was the worst. It was worse than breaking my leg. I mean, I lost a prized possession, and I couldn't get over it. I mean,
wow.
So,
and all crazy. That could have been avoided if we just put the bike in the backyard.
In the backyard or in the garage.
That's a brutal story. That's a brutal story. So to follow that up, did you get another bike later on in life, or did you say, forget that, I'm done?
She never bought me a bike. Actually, the next bike that I had to buy, my mom actually paid me. I had to do chores around the house because I was getting kind of towards that age now, doing chores. I mean, right. I was pretty young. I would say I was like 8 or 9. So
wow.
She started to give me an allowance, and I worked for that bike.
So tell me a little bit about your family life growing up. Brothers and sisters. Tell me about your parents.
I have 2 brothers and 1 sister. My sister is the same age. Well, she's 2 years younger than me.
Mm.
And when I moved down to Elba, a while back, or after Rochester, oh my gosh, my mom had some more kids, and they were Joe and Josh, and so it was it was that's also an exciting story too, because my mom and dad got a divorce.
Okay.
And we lived in the little tiny 200 town of Elba, Minnesota. I love Elba, Minnesota. I go there, I visit in the summertime. I take my wife down there. My mom doesn't live there anymore. She hasn't lived there for eons and eons.
Right.
And so we went with my dad after we got the divorce. My dad ended up running off in the forest and killing himself, sadly.
Oh, goodness.
And because of the divorce. And we went back to, the day of that my dad took off, I remember there was a note, and the note said, I'm sorry for what I'm about to do. I'm going to go on a vacation, and that's all I remember. And they found him 6 months later. He stole, the big people, my mom and my grandma and my dad.
Mm-hmm.
My dad stole the gun out of my mom's house.
Wow.
And they pretty much put the pieces together, and I was too young to understand.
Yeah.
I mean, I was too, so.
How old were you during that time?
I was about 12, 13.
Wow.
And I can remember the day when I came back from my grandma's. The cops were there all in Elba. My mom was crying, my grandma was crying, and stuff like that. And I could just sense. I can sense. You can tell an expression on a person's face if they're happy, if they're sad, if they're distressed, if they're, and I never forgot that feeling in that moment, because it was, we found your dad, and I went, oh, good, and everybody just started crying even more. It was a sad day, and
so
it was
at 12 years old. You had to grow up real quick then.
Yeah, and my mom actually just had Joe, and so I had to take care of a 1-year-old and a 3-year-old at 12 years old. And my mom said, "You got to be the man of the family now." And I think that's kind of maybe the reason why I am the way I am, because my childhood was stripped away from me, was ripped away from me, and I had to make pizzas and hot dogs, which was fine. I mean, I get home, I had to do my homework, I had to go next door, I had to pick up Joe and Josh, I had to take care of them, and sometimes my mom would, come home at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. Now she had to take care of 4 children, and it was tough on her because she had to make more money to support 4 children now. I mean, it was I couldn't imagine, and she was forever grateful. I mean, because except for that time I almost burnt down the house.
Oh, okay. Tell me a little bit about that.
There was a Halloween one, I don't know, about 15, and my mom, I don't know if you know this, but a lot of people kept their candy from Halloween in the oven. I've heard this. I've done serious. There was a lot to keep it away from the children. It's a hiding spot. It's kind of like a hiding spot.
I see.
So she went to town. I was the only one home, and I was into this movie, super crazy. I don't remember what the movie was, but my mom walked out the door and says, "I'm gonna go to town. I'll be back in a half an hour." It wasn't very far from where she was going. I would say at least 15, 16, enough to let me sit there alone. My sister wasn't there, and my brothers weren't there either. I think they were at grandma or something. But I flipped on she said, "Flip on the oven." And so I was into my movie, and we'll have pizzas later. And I flipped on the oven and jumped back on the couch. About 15 minutes later, I was like, is there smoke in here? So I got up and was walking around, and it was dark. It was wintertime. It was kind of winterish because 5 o'clock. I remember 5, 6 o'clock. It was black. I had all the lights on, watching this amazing movie, which I cannot remember at all. But it was a movie.
It had you completely enthralled. Then, obviously,
it had me totally. And when I got, anyways, oh my gosh, I was walking around, and all of a sudden I was like, "What is that?" And all the fire. was being kept inside the oven. Well, the candy was burning and starting a fire in the oven. So I was like, oh no. So I opened it up, and a big shot of flames nearly toasted my face, my hair, shot out like a rocket.
Wow.
And it stretched all the way across the room and burnt that little tiny red 13-inch TV to a crisp. It was a red molten piece of crap after that.
Oh no.
I was like, and so I was very excited, even more excited than now, because I was younger, and I had 100% more of energy than I do now.
Yeah.
Even though you think that I have a lot of go-getter, on my YouTube. And all of a sudden I ran next door quickly, and I was like, Dawn, I was like, there's a fire in my house. And she's like, oh my gosh, did you call the fire? Is everybody out? Did you call the fire department? She called the fire department, and I stayed over at her house. And when my mom got back, the town was like, I don't know, a mile and a half long. There were fire trucks from my house they brought the whole shebang, all the fire trucks, everything. And my mom couldn't even get past the bars.
Oh no.
And she caught a good friend of mine, Tim Selke, and he says, your house is on fire. And my mom freaked. Like, Tim Selke lived right across from us, and it was a bad day. It was a bad day. It didn't ruin much. It really, it did ruin the microwave. It did ruin the TV, and definitely the oven was toast. I mean, crazy story.
So very quick moral, kids and adults, check your oven before you turn it on. It's very important. I guarantee that you always check your oven now.
Yeah. I'm very cautious of that. That was a life learned lesson right there. I mean, I was like, oh my gosh. I don't put anything in my oven anyways. Okay. Besides, food. Right. I don't. Thank God I don't decide to stick the bread in there or stick some candy in there from time to time. That always sticks in the back of my head,
Well, I'll tell you, that's going to stick with me now at this point. I'm going to be thinking about that every time I go to the oven.
Do you store stuff in your oven?
No, I don't. And that's one of those strange things. I've heard that people do that, and I've never done that. To me, it's almost blasphemy to store anything in the oven that I cook the food in. Oh well. My mind doesn't understand that. It's like, no, that's made for heating things. You don't store things in there. What are you thinking?
Oh yes, you do. Maybe this is an '80s thing.
I have family members who used to do that, but I did not. I can't do it. No, wait, that's a lie. There have been some times that I've put things in the oven, but those were only dishes that I was trying to hide from guests. So just throw them all in there.
I'm sorry.
No.
I'm glad that you've heard of that before.
Yeah, I've heard of it. But I've never heard that somebody has started a fire with leftover Halloween candy. What was the first job? Your first real job? What was the first real job that you had?
Well, I did a lot of lawn mowing jobs, but that wasn't. I mean, that was my first job. My first real job would have been at the Elba House in Elba, and I could walk that. I always hated walking down there because when I got my license, I was like, I want to drive. I mean, when you get your license and you're a teenager, you want to drive no matter what. And my mom, she was very brought up the correct way. I'm not saying there's not a correct way, but she brought me up a very, positive, good way, very strict way. But she was sensitive,
right?
And that was dishes, and it was. I worked there for like 4 years, and in the summertime. Oh, also when I was in 10th grade, 11th grade, and 12th grade, I worked for the fish hatchery out in Crystal Springs. And then I could wait. No, I couldn't even drive then. Oh my God. I had to ride my bike I could ride my bike there. It was like 3 or 4 miles. And I can remember one time I was riding down the gravel road, and I was just going a little too fast, and I had a little 5-gallon bucket for my lunch pail I put on my bike, and I was just going a little too fast on that gravel road, and the apple and the oranges were flying, and the sandwiches had sand in it. But you know what? I don't care. 5-second rule, let's go. I hurried up and picked it up. I ate it because I was hungry, and I worked there.
Right.
That was through school, actually. I somehow they would take care of fish. It was a fish hatchery, and boy, that had a stench. That fish food. If you ever been in a fish hatchery before,
I have not.
Where they have stalls and stalls. This is where they make the fish. They go catch the fish, and then they feed them pellets, and then they put males and females in there, and they do it. the stench. I mean, you'd get used to it, but and every summer I'd come back and be like, oh my gosh, I forgot that smell. I didn't. Oh, it was just horrendous. But I did that. That was mowing too, and trimming, and riding a big mower. Riding a big mower when you're younger, nothing's better. Well, besides video games, but I wasn't in the video games yet, so.
See, I never got far enough in my lawn cutting career that I ever got the chance to ride a big mower. So that's always been. I know that sounds stupid because sitting here at 40 years old, I haven't been on one of those gigantic mowers. But even today, I will. If we're gone somewhere, I'll see somebody cutting grass, and I'm thinking, man, I would like to get on that thing.
Just try that out. Just let's go.
But that's cool. Very cool.
Then after I graduated, my mom hired a person to find me a job, and I didn't know you could do that, but she was awesome. The first job we went to was a mechanic, a little tiny gas station mechanic that was in, I believe it was called Lewiston. And I was not interested. She told me what that was, and the ride down there was long and boring. I didn't know her, and we got there, and she was trying to sell, she was trying to get me the job, and I showed zero interest. And I can remember that ride back, that I had lost a good career, and I was like, I don't want to be a mechanic. I mean, of course now I kind of do, because finding out much mechanics get.
Right. Yeah.
I had no interest. It was stupid. I mean, and then I got my cardboard job, and that was 25 years. So
you stayed. You worked for the cardboard industry for 25 years.
Yes.
Wow. Holy cow. A lot of people. That's a whole lifetime for some people. Now, the last time we were talking, you had explained that, we, the average person on the street, have no clue. We are wrong about what cardboard really is. And I know this seems not interesting to some people, but this blew my mind when I found this out. So could you refresh me and tell me one more time, tell me about what cardboard really is and what boxes are really made out of? Because listen, folks, this is going to blow your mind. Listen to this.
All right, so when I went to the corrugated and cardboard factory, I called it cardboard. There was a word in our business that said cardboard, but it was actually cardboard. It was actually considered corrugated cardboard. Corrugated is the boxes that you get stuff at the grocery store. It's got flutes in it. It's got a top. It's got a bottom layer, and it's got the flute. In the middle of the flute is the wavy stuff.
Yeah.
And cardboard is a lottery ticket. Did I say that right? I think I said that right.
Yeah.
I'm not exaggerating. I know, because I worked there for a long time, and I was told, and I was like, no way. I think it was like 10 years before I actually learned what corrugated and cardboard was.
Wow.
Because I always called it cardboard, and it was crazy.
So real cardboard is the board that goes on the top and the bottom of the flutes, right?
Cardboard is a lottery ticket. the thin stuff with no flutes.
Okay, all right.
Corrugated is the flutes, the top, the bottom. There's a top layer. There's a flute that glues to the top, and then the bottom flute glues to the bottom piece of corrugated. And it's, yeah. And we did a whole bunch of stuff. We taped boxes. I knew how to run the taper. I knew how to run the gluer. I knew how to run the stitcher. I ran a gigantic press about, I don't know, let's just say 10 car lengths.
Wow.
I don't know how long that is. It was a big machine, and then my career was over because it was too much pressure. It's too much stress. The boss, we had a boss change. It was terrible. It just ran it right into the ground. I mean, it seemed like the old boss, like, saved the new boss. I mean, we got a lot of perks when the new boss came, but then we were out. We were done because he's way overspent on that gigantic. It was called a flexo press, and boy, that thing could run some corrugated. I crap you not, crazy fast. And I ran it. I did it.
Wow.
I could do it.
Holy cow!
So,
but so was it? Was it all that stress that made you say, "I'm done with this. I'm doing something else"?
I actually got fired, which is very, very. I was very shocked. And then it closed a year later, and every single day I was like, you know what? I want that place closed. I mean, sorry about the people that worked there, and I really cared about the people, but at the end of it, the last 2 years was just miserable. Especially when I got on that flexo machine. It was way too much for. I mean, so this big flexo machine actually ran cardboard through the machine, through some feeders, printed it, cutted it, and I just, it was, the boss was standing over me 24/7.
Oh no.
And he was nicking me and nicking me and nicking me. And I said, put me on nights. I said, that's where I'm comfortable with. I was on days at the time. I was on days and nights. I did work about 17 years on nights, and I don't know, 8? Is it 8? Yeah, about 8 on days. And I said, put me on night. And they put me on night, and I ran that thing no problem. And they put me with a partner. You need 2 people to run this flexo.
Yeah.
He didn't know nothing about it.
Oh,
So
no.
it was all on Paul, and I did it. No pressure. I mean, there was pressure, there was stress. But when I would leave on days after dealing, with the boss, and it was seriously the boss that was really like just. I went in eventually one day to his office and said, "You got to back off." I said, "You can't stand over me 150%. We went down for training on this machine 3 states away, and you got to back off just a tiny bit. You can't be on my shoulders all the time, every day. He got me for a pop one day, sitting on top of the machine, where there was no electrical, and I was just wore out by the end of 8 hours. I couldn't even play games. I couldn't even watch TV. I came home and went to bed.
Well, no doubt. If you have somebody browbeating you for 8 hours while you're trying to do your best, forget that.
I'm not exaggerating at all. It was too much. There was times I couldn't even drive a half an hour home because I was so nerved up. Right. And that's back before I had not depression, anxiety.
Right.
I would have lost my crap.
Right.
Totally.
Wow.
So.
Holy cow. So after that one, after that job, what job did you go to after that?
Pizza Hut.
Woohoo!
And I love Pizza Hut.
Yeah, man. Yeah. And how long you been working at Pizza Hut now?
I've been working at Pizza Hut for about 6 years, but don't forget about the 7 years I worked at the other pizza joint. It's just down the street from where I live, and that was called Jimmy's Pizza. And the boss there was the best. I mean, don't get me wrong. Between all the bosses I've had, I would say the old one from West Rock, Stone, Smurfit, the company changed many times names. Then it would be Jimmy's Pizza, and definitely Elisa now. Elisa's my boss now at Pizza Hut, and it was an amazing transfer. I mean, I was thinking, oh, I'm only gonna make $700. Back in the 80s, back in the 90s, people had to have 2-3 jobs to make ends meet. And I remember Elisa telling me a long time ago, I was working Pizza Hut and I was also working Stone at the same time. And I would come in at 3 o'clock. I would work I would wake up at 3 in the morning, go to Stone, work there at 5, be done at 3, leave at 3, be to work by 4 at Pizza Hut on the north side, south side, and work until 8, 9, 10 o'clock. And I did that for 9 months solid, almost solid. And she looked at me a few times when I come in, and she'd be like, how do you have so much power? I don't understand. And you look just dog tired. And I say, let's just go. Let's just go. Yeah. Let's do this.
Go.
I'm ready to make some more. Go. And I can also remember when I was working both jobs, like I work fast. I mean, I'm starting to slow down. I'm going to be 50 this year. I remember one, I can remember when I was about 40. I was about 40 when I worked both jobs. Wow. I was in between that time where I was working from about 5 o'clock to about 10 o'clock at night. Both jobs for like 5 months. I worked 110%. I wanted to see how far I could push my body until I started aching and being really sore and just couldn't make it and just be tired. I worked as hard for 5 months at both jobs for that period of time for about 5 months. And about by the 4th month, my legs, my arms just started hurting no matter how much sleep I got.
Right.
I mean, it was crazy. I can remember the people at Pizza Hut saying, why does he work that hard? Well, first of all, to make more money, because if you work faster at Pizza Hut, you get more deliveries.
Right.
Not necessarily, because some nights it's trash and some nights it's really good. I mean, it doesn't matter how hard you work. You just get crap tips.
Yeah.
But my legs were starting to burn and ache, and my arms were aching, and I couldn't get enough sleep. And it took me 2 months to recuperate after I started slowing back down. And it was so crazy. I couldn't believe how fast I was working. And I'll never do it again because it was just a test. I wanted to see how far I could do it, and it was crazy. I'll never forget it because I tested myself.
Wow.
I wanted to see.
See, that takes a lot of intestinal fortitude just to be able to say, you know what, I'm going to do this and push myself as hard as I can go just to see.
Every day for like 5 months.
You alluded to the fact that you had gotten into a little trouble in your life.
Yeah, I might have gotten, back in the day when I got my license, I definitely got into some trouble. I had a 1992 S10 red pickup that I bought from Clements down here in town from a good friend, Stevie. His name was Steve, but I always call him Stevie. You know, I got another thing to say. When I find a good friend or an acquaintance, I don't call them by their name. I call them by their name that I create. And I like to put that Y on there. Paul, Paulie, Steve, Stevie. I'm sorry I don't have one for you. Your name is hard enough. HOJO, DOJO.
It's difficult enough. It's fine.
So, anyways, I got into some trouble when I was younger. I got a 1992 red S10 pickup, had about 8,000 miles on it. And Stevie sold me this. And I waxed that thing, I'd wash that thing, and I'd cruise up and down Broadway. My name was Snoopy on the CB. I got in with the CB group. And to have a CB and talk, and you didn't have cell phones back then, you could do that. I mean,
oh yeah, that was freedom. That was one of the coolest freedoms that because I remember one of my first jobs was security. So I remember I had a CB, and every time I would go anywhere, I'd feel like I was such a big cat because I had this CB and I could talk talk to people on the road. I remember when I went to college, because I went to college in Florida. So whenever I went down there, before I left, it's like a 12-hour drive from here to Florida. My father was like, "Here, son, have this CB," because he used to be a coal truck driver.
Yes.
And he drove truck for years until he started driving a school bus. And he was like, "Here, son, take this CB." And he outfitted my car with it and everything. And driving down, I never had a cool handle like Snoopy. But driving down back and forth from here to Florida and from Florida back to West Virginia, I used that CB so much, and I felt like the bandit myself. So
I had the 100-foot antennas off this tiny S10 pickup, 2 sides. It looked cool as crap, man. It
nice.
was. I felt like a hot rod. I mean, I flew up and down Broadway, and I knew where the 4th floor was to the courthouse because that was the fines section in the building. And I can remember counting. Eventually, I lost my license twice.
Wait, stop. Wait, go back. You lost your license twice?
Twice. I lost my license twice because I sped so much up and down Broadway. The cops knew me. It was chaos. It was wildness. They knew Snoopy. Like we couldn't even sit in certain parking lots. They started kind of like, once it got past a certain time, they wouldn't let you sit. I thought it was kind of stupid because we would sit on the outside of the parking lot and not bug anybody. I mean, we would just talk, and then we would have places that we went after they would kick us out of certain parking lots, Walmart parking lot, the Hub parking lot, this little grocery station. We had secret places outside of town where we would go and just chill and just, drink, maybe a little marijuana. Who knows?
Who knows?
But I never did that. I really never did that when I was younger. But it was fun.
See, that was me. When I was younger, I just didn't do anything. I was so focused on my actual career and trying to get out and doing something with my life that I'm like, I'm not going to waste my time on that alcohol and drugs. But anyway, thank you so much for opening up and letting me know about that. That's really cool. Now go ahead.
It was a super fun life. It was a super fun time in my life.
But kids, listen, don't speed. Those listening, don't speed. Even though it was fun, don't do it.
I can remember about $3,000 after I think it was even more. One time I started counting up all the fines I had, approximately $100, $120 for a ticket. I can remember about $3,000, and eventually they yanked my license. And here's another really cool story. Oh my gosh, so the second time I lost my license, the last week they took it away for 3 months. Well, I could go to work, and I could, go home, and that was it. Go to the grocery station, and that was it. I kind of had a set time. If a cop pulled me over, be like, "You don't have a license. Why are you in this other state?" And so I was down the road one day, about a month away from 3 months. I'm sorry. Let me reword that. I was about a month away from getting my license back for the second time. I wasn't obeying what I should have been doing. And I got pulled over. Well, it was in my hometown of St. Charles, and I got pulled over by Don. And Don, we went to school. And he says, "Oh, Paul, how are you doing?" And I was like, "Oh," and I started up a conversation. I've always been good to start up a conversation and just sidetrack somebody from it, just like that. I'm not even kidding you.
You're a manipulator. I see.
And blah blah blah. I was talking to him, and he checked I had to have insurance, but I didn't have a license. I don't know how that worked. I had insurance. Maybe I didn't have insurance. No, I had to have insurance because I was driving. And he as he walked away after 10 minutes of talking, he says, "Oh, I'm not going to bug you." He says, "You just didn't put your signal on out of the graveyard there, out of the," and like, he says, "Well, a lot of people do that," and blah, blah, blah. "Oh, we know you got a license, so we'll see you later, buddy." For some reason, he didn't check me.
Wow.
But he checked my insurance, I believe. But it was crazy that I was that close. Maybe it was even like a week before I got it back. Not a month, but it was really, no, it was about a week. I'm changing my story again. Sorry.
It's all right. So that was divine intervention that kept you out of that. That's what that was, Rocket.
Oh my God. And maybe he just saw it and just like overlooked it, who knows?
Yeah.
But I'm forever grateful.
Hey, that's why it's good to have friends and buddies whenever you're in a tight spot like that.
Yes.
Now, I do have a few more questions, and I won't drag it out too long, but I do have a few more questions. Tell me about meeting your wife and how long you've been together and all that.
So I met my wife in a bar. She was a barfly. Have you ever heard that term before?
I have.
And I was working at West Rock, Stone, Smurfit, whatever, the cardboard factory, and she had a cousin, and the person I worked with name was Rhonda, and she's like, as soon as I turned 21, like it was like Laurel and Hardy. Oh no, I'm sorry, it was like Popeye. Come down to the bar. Come down to the bar and I'll pay you Friday. We were down at the bar, me and Rhonda. Well, I met Mickey down there. Michelle, I should say Michelle, because that's her real name. Mickey, I call her Mickey. Because...
So say I've never. I was like, who's Michelle? I don't know Michelle.
She's my other girlfriend. Oh my God, why would I have that? Why would I do that to myself? Why would a man do that to yourself for crying out loud?
Oh, I don't get that.
It's that one word. Starts with S and ends with X every time. So.
Oh yeah, it has to be, because I don't know. I can't do that. I can't deal with one woman, let alone more than one. So obviously.
Anyways, I met her. So this is a really cool story. Actually, I love this story. So I met Nikki, and she was seeing another guy at the time.
Oh,
juicy. And I was still with my ex that I actually had my daughter with. I'm not with, my ex anymore, of course. I'm with Mickey now. Anyways, we went out a couple times, We went out once, I think, when she was on a break and I was on a break. It kind of happened. We went out once, and it was all right, I guess, and she, I don't remember if she didn't call me or I didn't call her. Anyways, that went down, a little while, a month or two down the road. I would say 3 months. And I was done with my ex. I was done with Jenny. I was done. That's my ex. Nikki's my, wife.
So you've got an ex named Jen too, I see.
Yes, wonderful. Yeah, hey, hello. Hey, I'm Anyways, I once in I'm done with you. I'm done with Jenny. And I gave her 3 shots. The first time I left for a day, I went down to Elba where my mom was, stayed there. Stayed the night, just slept there, I'm leaving. I got a car, I'm leaving. Bye. Yeah. She didn't have a car. Second time is about a month later. I left for 3 days, I would say 3 or 4 days, and she was begging me to come back because she couldn't go anywhere. We had one car.
Yeah.
And she was begging me to come back, and I came back the second time, and I said, the third time that I leave, I'm not coming back. Yeah. It's over. It's done. Finished. And I held to that. The third time came, and I said, I'm done. She woke up in the one morning. This is actually what happened. Oh my God, you're proud of my memory. I'm like so excited about it. She woke up one morning. It was 6:30. I don't remember the day. She says, "You know what? I don't love you anymore." That's it. No argument. No fight.
Wow.
That's it. I left. Then she was begging me not to go to the bar with Rhonda that night. Oh, you're sleeping with Rhonda. You're sleeping with Rhonda. No, I'm not. I've never slept. In my 50 years that I've been alive, I've never, 49 3/4, never slept with another woman while I was with my girlfriend.
Right.
While I was with my wife, ever. That's something that I have pride for.
You should.
And,
you should. That's amazing.
And that's really amazing. And so here we are, like 25 years later. Not 25 years. Oh my God, I can't even count anymore. Here we are, like 23, 24. I have been with my wife for 25 years. 23 married.
Wow.
I think I said that right.
25. Like that. Very cool. Very cool. So that's your personal life. So these are really what makes Rocket was all the things that you've been through, growing up early, going to work early, working hard, working really hard. And I'll tell you, Rocket, one of the things that blows my mind about you, not just your honesty, even though that's refreshing. You don't find that kind of true honesty these days. That's very refreshing.
Nope, you don't.
But beyond that, just the man that you are, the excitement that you bring, the happiness that you bring to so many people online, by what you do, and that's kind of where I want to switch into right now. Tell us a little bit about your channel, your Rocket Blast Gaming channel, and how that came about.
So I started off, I would say I made a channel back in I believe it was 2012, and it wasn't really Rocket Blast. It wasn't even Mario Sonic. It was just let's do a couple videos. Why not? And I put some videos out there, and they were pornos. They were it was like Scooby Doo. It was a Scooby Doo cartoon, and I had some bad stuff in there.
Okay.
And I really wasn't thinking of a channel. The channel started kind of in 2017 with Clash of Clans. I got a ton of Clash of Clans, and I did that until I almost died. I hated it. I mean, I loved it, but I hated it. You can't do the same thing every single day, which I'm starting to do again. But I'm thinking of a different way of doing it. I'm going to be doing my channel in the future. And I put out so many videos, and to the point where I was like, I want to go over to Mario. I want to go over to Tetris. I want to go over to Nintendo games. I want to go over to Neo Geo. I want to go over to fighting games,
Uh-huh.
And my playlist, I have a playlist. I have a playlist of like 30 different categories.
Wow.
The main ones are Minecraft, Super Mario, definitely Funko Pop Monday. Definitely check that out because it's amazing. I'm getting better. And
Funko Pop Monday is great. If you listeners out there haven't checked out Rocket Blast Gaming and his Funko Pop Monday, man, you're missing out, because he breaks down kind of everything here and tells you about these pops and shows you these pops. And hey, you do it in a way that I wish that I could do, but I could never be you.
How exactly do I do it in a way, if I may ask? I'm just doing it myself.
Well, I think it's just you, I think it's just you beyond anything else. Just Rocket being Rocket. Because I tune in as much as I want to see the Funko Pops, and as much as I'm interested in what Funko Pops you have that day, I tune in and catch myself watching you like a sitcom. It's
awesome.
Yeah, it's the joy that you bring to it. Because I do Funko Fridays, and I do it my own way, but there's no way that I could ever be Rocket. I can't. That's impossible for me to be what you bring to that show, and I love it. Funko Pop Mondays are great. They're absolutely great.
The things that I like about you and your channel is you got that perfect radio voice, man. I'll say it over and over, and you hear it at least 10,000 more, billion more, trillion more times. Like. You got that calm voice that just,
Yeah.
Tune into KRPR 106.2. Let's go. This is the station where you're going to get some calm stuff. And I can't do that. I mean, I could do it. I could be like, Welcome to 102.2. Hey, that's pretty good, actually.
That's not
Welcome
bad.
to 102.2, 369.
See, we need to start.
I can't do it. I'm screwing up.
We need to start our own station. Of course, and maybe you don't know this. I actually, that was my second job. My first job was working at Save-A-Lot, and my second job was working for, WXCC out of Williamson, West Virginia, which is now out of Pikeville, Kentucky. And we were primarily a country station, and I was not big on country music. So when I first started, they let me run the AM station, WBTH, I think is what it was called.
Ooh.
And I ran the sports and stuff on WBTH. And then finally, after I'd kind of paid my dues at 17, they let me start working at the main desk and running the regular music. And here's the thing: during Christmas, I got fired right after the Christmas holiday. But I think it happened at Christmas. I think they started to plant that seed of, we don't want this guy anymore, because again, like I said, it was a country music station, but it was Christmas time, so I was playing all different types of Christmas music from all over the ages. I just happened to play a rap country or a rap Christmas music song. I think it was Snoop Dogg from the How the Grinch Stole Christmas album.
Okay.
And I was getting calls before that song was over from the GM.
Ooh.
Yeah, before it was over, the GM's like, "You've got to pull that song. You can't ever play that song. It's a country station. You can't do that." And
oh my God.
yeah, I will forever go down in history being the first guy to ever play rap on a country music station here in West Virginia.
That's so funny.
Of course, I did.
Sorry.
I lost my job shortly after that, but don't be sorry. It was all good, because I did fine after that. I even worked at a station here in Logan, West Virginia, for about 3 years. What was that station? WVOW, Coal Country. So I worked there for a little while. So yeah, I've got a voice for radio and a face for radio, unfortunately. So, but thank you for the kind words. Anyway.
Oh my God, it's awesome.
I could never be Rocket Blast, and I tell you, I don't try to emulate you at all, because I would fall flat on my face. Even though I'm a great actor, I would fall flat on my face. Again, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't checked out the Funko Mondays, the Funko Pop Mondays, then you really are missing out on some great fun. Now,
bringing a tear in my eye.
And I'm just being honest. I'm just being truthful. And I love all of your content across the board. And I love the fact that you are kind of branching out and doing all new different things that other people just haven't done. And if they have done, they haven't done it like you. And tell us a little bit about where you see your channel going in the future.
Oh my gosh, so I'm super stoked, man. As soon as we get done, man, I'm jumping on the computer. And I got some new Mario content that there's this program called 3D Sand, and it's on Steam, and it lets you. Now this is probably for the older crowd, the younger crowd. Heck, everybody loves Mario. It takes the Nintendo games back in the 80s, it turns it into 3D, and this creator that made this, put this on Steam, did this 100% amazing. I'm going to be doing live stream tonight, and I'm going to be showcasing this. I'm ripping off some pictures right now that have been taking me hours and hours to do. I spent 2 hours on this one image last night.
Oh my goodness!
And I'm almost done with the image, ripping the background out. But yeah, it's going to be Mario. It's going to be Funko Pop Monday, but it's going to be just not Mario Maker 2. I would like to, when I get sick of Mario Maker 2, you can't play the same game all the time.
Right.
My channel has been doing great with Super Mario, probably because of the new Super Mario movie coming out here very shortly. But I played Mario for like 40 years. I played it since the beginning. In fact, I played Mario before he was Mario in Donkey Kong. I believe it was called Jumpman. I think Mario was actually called Jumpman.
Jumpman. Yeah, I think you're right there.
Oh my God, I do have a memory.
You do. And it's working. It's working great. You're kicking on all cylinders today, brother.
And also, I'm going to be doing more shorts. I got a new short today with that other new program that I got, and I love that new. There's been I've just been giddy over here with all the new things that I've been like, how many things I can actually do with Super Mario now.
Right.
And now I don't think I'll actually get bored with one title because, I can play Sunshine, I can play Mario Maker 2, I can play Mario Maker 1, I can make a short out of Mario where he smashes Bowser with that new, I can't think of the program called, but 3D, I'm into 3D pixels now with Mario.
Yeah.
Which is doing great on the channel.
Yeah, I've watched some of those shorts. You're doing great with those shorts. They're really cool. And again, you mentioned kind of briefly, you're doing live streams now. Now, I remember that you were doing those on Wednesdays, but
yep.
You're probably going to be doing those on more and more, right?
Well, I still want to stick to Wednesday. Once these shorts calm down just a little bit. Last week I put 6 videos out in 7 days with the shorts.
Right.
And my channel blew up. I usually get 600 to 700 views without the shorts. And the last 7 days, last week, I got, what was it, 13,000?
Oh, wow.
13,000 views.
Congratulations, brother.
YouTube really doesn't pay much, but everything was up. The views was up. The watch hours went ballistic. Everything went 300% on something.
Oh, wow.
It was below, before it was in the negative. So we're going to keep up with the short stuff.
Cool. Well, awesome,
Mario
man.
Hunter.
And again, I've watched those. I love them. I just hope the best for you and your channel. And I found your channel a year and a half ago, 2 years, something like that. I can't remember.
I would almost think it'd be almost a year and a half now, because I've been with Arcade, I think, almost over 2 years.
Yeah, I'd say it was about a year and a half. And I found your channel, and immediately I'm like, okay, I'm watching this channel.
Awesome.
I'm gonna watch this.
I need 1 million more just like you.
Yeah. I would just like to have 1,000 like me, but
okay, 10 billion.
There we go. But no, I love your channel. I love what you do. I love the way you do it. And let me praise you just for a minute, just for a second here.
Make me cry.
Let me lift you up just for a second. People tune in, and maybe I'm wrong, but people like me tune in. I don't care what you're playing. I don't care what you're doing. I don't care what pop you're showing. I'm there for you because I like you and I enjoy watching you. And not like from the bushes or anything like that, but no, I enjoy watching what you do, and I believe that other people do too. You bring an energy, a spunk. You bring a level of sophistication that a lot of people don't have, and I love it. And it's good to look up to somebody and see and say, I want to be like that in 10 years. Not about the channel, but I want to be that excited about life. I want to be that persistent about life, that consistent about your uploads. You are somebody that we can look up to, and I thank you personally from the bottom of my heart for being who you are. So thank you.
Thank you for being my friend, Hojo. I really appreciate your company. Dude, I'm choked up now, man. Seriously, I like Hojo. I like your name. I like your voice. I like your content.
Well, thank you.
We just fit, I think. It just means a lot to me that we met and on the YouTube. That's the way I'm saying it. On the YouTube.
Nice.
We met on the YouTube. I sound like an old man now. Yes.
No, you sound just like me, because this is stuff that I say all the time. But no, it has been an honor to get to know you. It has been an honor to get to watch your channel all this time. It's been an honor for today to get you to talk to me. But thank you again for being on the show today. You're going to do a live stream this Wednesday?
I'm going to do one tonight, and we'll see about tomorrow.
Okay.
It's just one day at a time. I would like to do it again tomorrow. Definitely tonight, because I'm super geared up about this new program. 3D Send. Buy it. It's $10. You got to have the ROMs, and we can talk about that later.
But if you have the ROMs, it will work with that.
Yes.
Okay, cool. I'm excited to see a little bit more of that. I already got a sneak peek of it, but I'm excited to see more of that. And our viewers out there, our listeners, I think you're going to love it. It's really, really cool. You literally get to see.
Oh, you haven't seen nothing yet.
You literally get to see Mario from a different perspective. Literally.
Way different.
And it kind of blows your mind. What, as a final word here, what could we tell our audience as our final closing thoughts about life, love, the universe? What do you have to say?
This is what I got to say. Yippee yahoo! Welcome back to Rocket Blast Channel, and don't forget to take a peek at HOJO Dojo, because he was the guest today, and this is how I talk, so this is what you're gonna get.
It's true.
Have a great day. Woo!
There you go. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening to us ramble this time. Truly an amazing guest for the third episode of our 30-something. Thank you so very much. Of course, I'm going to have to change that. Since I'm 40 now, I'm going to have to change that. But
you're 30. You're 30. Just say you're 30.
Yeah, I'll just lie about it. It's fine. Nobody can see me anyway. It's no big deal. But thank you so much for taking this time out and doing this today. Thank you for being you, and thank you for always being awesome and keeping us pushing and striving to be better. Until the next time, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you stay cool. Check out Rocket Blast Gaming. You are going to love it. Everything that he does, you're going to enjoy. And hey, while you're at it, why don't you check out some of my old videos? I've got some playlists up there. If you like old time radio, if you like some unique gaming and weird stuff like that, then please check me out. But until the next time, ladies and gentlemen, we'll catch you on the flip side.
Yippee-yahoo!